Hello and welcome back to Honey Badger 3D Print and Paint. Today we're taking a look at cable, but first roll those credits. Welcome back. So today we're taking a look at cable. This has got to be one of my favourite models, even though I did lose a little bit of my soul and a little bit of enthusiasm towards the end. I love this model and I love it for a lot of reasons. There are some things about it that make it quite difficult to work with. The model is from CG Trader, so just to give you an idea of scale, this is about 650 tall to the top of the gun, and if I turn it sideways you can see just how wide it is. It's about 400mm wide, so it's a big model. There's a lot of things I like about it, there's a few things that I don't like about it. So the things I like about it are the flesh tone came out pretty much exactly how I wanted it to. I love the multi layers of detail. So you've got his regular head, and you've got all of his the way all of his equipment came out. We did some nice weathering on all of that equipment, and then as you go down the model, you've got a quite interesting base with a Magneto helmet down there and Deadpool's hand coming out of a portal. There are some issues. So the first issue is that the only way to print the portals is standing straight up. They have no flat edge or flat surface to print from. So they can be a little difficult to print. The other was the gun. Now, as with a lot of our prints, we scaled this up to much larger size. That meant a couple of things. The first is that I had to cut the gun down the middle so that I could actually fit it onto my build platform. The other is that the joint for the wrist, I had to really glue a lot on that. I had to actually use epoxy resin in the end to get those to bond together, because it just wouldn't stay. No matter what I did, it kept falling off. The gun's quite heavy. That being said, the model is relatively well balanced. So because the feet are keyed and the base is relatively dense, it doesn't try to pitch itself over to the side. It does stand up nicely. As I said, there was a little bit of sort of losing the will to live as I was painting this. I really hate painting yellow. So trying to do all of this in sort of X-Men colours was a real challenge. There's a lot of leather. I don't mind doing leather, but yellow you have to prime in a white, and then go over it. And if you have any bleed from any of your other colours, yellow's really hard to cover those up. Whereas where we've got the green, for example, on his boots, if I'd made a mistake and I'd gone over and I'd hit some of the blue areas, you can touch that up with the blue and it will cover it. Yellow just doesn't cover, it always shows through. So we did a bit of weathering. We used a sponge technique, so we've got these brushes that have got little sponges on the end, and you literally you run it out, and it's almost like dry brushing, but it gives it gives a spongy effect. So so rather than just hitting things in a straight line, it gives that, it really helps with weathering. It helps with that randomized patterning that you need for weathering. The flesh tone came out really nicely. All of his veins and things like that, and his arms pop quite nicely. His arm came out really nicely, and so did a lot of the leather work as well. I'm really, really happy with the model. I think it's one of the few times as well that I've done eyes and he hasn't looked either like he's getting a rectal exam or like he's just seen a butterfly on the end of his nose and he's trying to see it. It's just one of those models where things really came together. I really, really like it. I hope you guys like it as well. Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you all very soon. Thank you very much.